This week in the Honey Darling Show, Rainn Wilson puts the crew in a time trap, and Lorca and Tyler aren't what they seem.
Ooh.
Welcome to the Honey Darling Show. Back from a hiatus for our Star Trek episodes, but we missed out on 3, but now we're back for 6, so a lot of stuff's been happening on Star Trek Discovery.
Well, it was Christmas and New Year's and my birthday and...
Yeah, and we got engaged too.
Our engagement!
Yeah, so...
Yay.
There was some time since our Star Trek one, but...
A little busy.
Yeah. Or, I mean, our Star Wars one, the other one that we did with a guest.
Allie. Yeah, thanks, Allie.
And that was the last one we did, but... Yeah, we're back to Star Trek Discovery. It's come back after the break. It's been 3 episodes. They feel like they've gone really quickly, but...
I think you said Star Trek Discovery.
Star Trek Discovery.
Just leave it in there, please.
Yeah. Well, I'll listen to it.
Star Deck Discovery. Sit outside and look up at the sky at night.
They found the deck.
The Star Deck.
Yeah. Well, they probably have Star Decks in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show is back. There's some shit that's happened, so we're just going to kind of take it from the first episode. I don't want to go through like every episode in detail just because we have a lot to cover, so I figure we'll just
hit the highlights.
We'll just kind of hit the highlights. So where we left off, the episode that I actually really wanted to talk about on that last one that we didn't get to just because of life and all that. But I wanted to talk about the first one that I said at the beginning. Is Rainn Wilson, a.k.a. Harry Mudd. Probably the most Star Trek episode I think they've done so far on the show.
It really was.
It very much felt like an original series episode, but I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've seen it already. But I hope so. But yeah, Rainn Wilson, Harry Mudd, basically puts everyone on the crew in this time loop, and he basically kills Lorca over and over and over again, trying to find the details to the like the blueprints for the ship, right, to figure out how to jump and do what they've been doing with the not the tardigrade anymore, with the Stamets, with the tardigrade DNA. So that was cool. And you actually, in that episode, they did a few things. Like they kind of like found a way to develop like Tyler and Michael's relationship
in a very cool
in one
way.
Episode, in a quick way, but in a Star Trek way.
It was like a montage. Basically,
yeah, and it was cool. Like I said, it totally it made me feel like it was a regular Star Trek episode. And there was a party there. You know, they were listening to '90s music in the future. But you know, whatever. I mean, some songs never die, right?
I still listen to like 50s and 60s music.
Yeah. So they did that fun like let's let loose and get drunk thing, and you know, and they keep doing this time loop that keeps repeating. And Stamets is the only one who knows what's going on because they've started to develop how he has the different powers now due to the interaction with the spores.
Yes, that's correct.
You know, where he's starting to see more. Has he? You probably don't remember, and I don't really remember either. Had he started saying stuff about the mirror universe yet? Because they kind of like peppered that in before it actually happens.
But we probably didn't know what was going on.
Because I don't know what exact episode it's from, but I know that he mentions that Tilly is a captain at one point.
He calls her captain. Well, actually, it must have been around then, because it's right after he makes the last jump.
Oh, okay.
So they're fighting the Klingons. They jumping.
Yeah.
And so after he makes that last jump, I think he gets unconscious and they think he's dead. And then he comes back to life, maybe, and then he says captain. Or maybe right before. Because
I remember he starts
somewhere in there.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably after he gets put in his space coma or whatever it is that happens.
Space coma.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is. But yeah, you know, Harry Mudd basically does this thing over and over and over again, and he kills Lorca in a different way every time. I think he send him into space one time, and
yeah, it's different every single time. He has like a time bracelet or something.
He has something that's like keeping him from getting caught in the time warp.
Yeah,
but it will always. And then they blow up the ship every time too, right? At the end.
Yeah, well, I think so, because it resets if he doesn't stop it within a certain amount of time. I think it's half an hour, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
So if like the world ends in half an hour, then it just goes back.
Yeah, but they did a cool thing with like Stamets talking to Michael, and he basically had to find ways to convince her that he knew what was going on in less time every time, so they could have more time to get to.
Skip a fucking head.
Yeah, so it was cool. So like each time they changed it, it was like he'd show up and be like, all right, I'm going to say less than I did last time, but I'm going to try to tell you something to make you believe that I'm not. So
and
we don't have to go through.
He was like, "You've always wanted to believe in love," and she's like, "I have. I'll do whatever you say."
Oh yeah, because she told him a secret that nobody knew or whatever. Yeah. I think he said that. You must believe in love.
You're right.
Yeah. But because it's like they have to get whatever each time they have to get past the whole like oh no, you're making this up, or no it's real, no really it is, like you have to cut out that like 20 minutes of them going back and forth about that and her saying he's not saying the truth and you must be joking, blah blah blah. So it was kind of cool how they like had to bypass that so they could actually get to Harry Mudd before he did all that.
I mean, not really believable, but fun.
Yeah, I mean it's I liked it. I liked it. You could say that there's probably some cracks in like his whatever he had going on with the science, pseudoscience of his time trap and all that. But
no, I just mean like even if you were like if you walked up to me right now and you were like, "This is the 57th time we've done this," I'd be like, "What?"
Yeah.
I don't think there's.
But I'd be like, you never believed in love or something.
You're right.
Whatever he said.
I always wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I mean, it'd have to be like the secretest of I mean, it'd have to be, I think, a much dirtier secret than that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Something more visceral.
Yeah.
Than.
Well, they're on CBS, so they could totally do that. I mean, we haven't mentioned it yet, but there are Klingon nipples in this show, which was like, whoa. I didn't expect that.
I don't even remember that.
You don't remember it? It's in Tyler's /Vok. Well, I mean, we're talking about 6 episodes, so we might as well just say all of it. But Tyler has visions of having sex with the Klingon girl that they have there.
I don't remember her nipples.
No, they show them. Like, she's on top of her, and it's like a top-down view, and her boobs are, like, out here.
Huh. I didn't even notice.
And they're, like, Klingon boobs, and there's, like, Klingon nipples and all. I mean, it's not, like, full-on... But it's like there's Klingon.
Do they have angry foreheads?
I mean, they're all like wrinkly, I guess.
Like regular nipples.
No, I mean like her boobs, like the top of them are wrinkly, like the makeup, like the Klingon makeup. You know what I mean? It's like a top-down shot of her on top of him. Yeah. And her boobs are like out like this. Right. And they look like they have the forehead stuff on them
on her boobs.
That Worf has.
No, I didn't even notice that at all.
They've shown it a few times actually. They even showed it in the last episode.
I think I was just more.
It's like part of his vision.
I was caught up in the story, and so I was thinking about the sex. I just wasn't thinking about her boobs.
Well, I noticed it eventually.
Well, I'm sure you noticed it pretty sooner than eventually.
And I was like, there's Klingon boobs there.
Oh, I'm sure.
I didn't notice it until the last one, honestly. But it's what they keep showing. They keep showing it every time he has his visions about being tortured or whatever, which I think is just rough Klingon sex. I don't think he was actually getting tortured. Well, also his body. I mean,
also they like replaced all the parts of his body with Klingon body parts, and now he's like not even a human.
Yeah, but they used the time trap episode. They used to basically push their relationship to make them closer. So like they had to kiss, but they only kissed in like one of the timelines, right? Which was like such a Flash thing. That's like what they used to do on the Flash.
But then I guess she told him about it because in the last timeline or something, he's like, "Oh, the only thing I regret about this timeline is we didn't get to have our first kiss."
Oh yeah.
But like, how did he know that? Yeah, because he was not remembering.
Maybe Stamets told him or something. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they eventually find a way out of it, and they kind of trick Harry Mudd into thinking that they have something that they don't have. I don't remember all the details of it, but his mom shows up, and his like isn't like his mom and his wife like show up, or is it his dad?
It's his wife and her dad.
Okay, yeah, because they've been searching for him for a while, and they finally find him, and he gets busted, and that's the last we see of Harry Mudd. He's not going to be on the show anymore. I mean, I listened to an interview with Rainn Wilson. He said that was it.
For now,
yeah. They do have another season, but He was hoping for another backdoor pilot where they could do a
Harry
Mudd show. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't rule it out yet.
Yeah, you never know. But yeah, that was that one, and then we kind of just. There was one where the one after that they went to that planet with the plants that talked to Saru, and
they were both kind of bottle episode-y.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Because that was another one because that's where they start to say, like, I love you, and I think they kiss in that one, right? Tyler and Michael do.
Yeah, they do. They totally make out in the plant universe.
In the plant one, yeah.
Planet.
Yeah, and Saru gets his mind gets kind of warped by the plant people, and they're like on this mission to create like peace, so they want to find a way for the Klingons and the humans to be together, because that's what brings you into the next episode where they have to fight them.
Yeah,
it's because they call them to be there because they're like, oh, they can just talk to each other and it'll be peaceful. And
they use the plants to light a beacon or something.
Yeah, they let them know. They let the Klingons know that they're where they're at, and then they show up. And they show up after that, and then we get to the part with the million jumps that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it's them fighting the Klingons, and in order to do it, they are going to do like 138 jumps or something bananas.
Yeah, it's like their mid-season. It was their mid-season finale, so they had a big fight there.
I just think fuck you for even thinking that was a plan.
Yeah, but Lorca is totally like asks like Stamets. He's like, we have to do like. I thought that originally when I was watching it, I thought that he was saying like, is it possible for you to do this much in case we do this much? But no, he did all of them. Like that was his plan. He's like, we're going to do this 100 times so they can't hit us.
But they didn't make it.
So they basically warp. Well, they keep warping around the ship. Yeah,
they didn't make it till all 138 or whatever.
They didn't? I thought they did.
I didn't think they did. I thought they made it some way through, and then Tilly was like, "This isn't gonna fucking work. He's gonna die."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Just do one more."
Yeah, they've started. I'm sure that happened in the last episode that we did, but they were starting to realize that it's hurting Stamets and all that.
Yeah.
And that's what was really cool at the end of that episode was basically like, they're like, can you make one more jump home? And then they do it and they end up in the mirror universe, which was something I had heard. I had heard different theories about that. Like, I had heard people thinking that they were already in the mirror universe, or that, like, Lorca was further from the mirror universe, which we know now from the end of the last episode that he is from the mirror universe. But there's a lot of, like, whole lot of like, oh, it's not like this really, like, or this guy's really this guy, or they've been doing a lot of that stuff. Lots of red herrings, right? Is that would you consider that a red herring?
Well, yeah.
It's like, I'm really this person.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. I never trusted him.
Yeah, no, I wanted to point out that you were very correct on Ash Tyler. You weren't all like, oh, he's so pretty, and you weren't buying his swag and all that, or
no, I didn't fucking trust him.
His whatever.
But Captain too didn't trust him.
Lorca?
Yeah, because he's always like, and he has that room of dead animal bones.
Yeah, he had that weird room.
Yeah, that's a weird room. That's a fucking mirror universe room.
Yeah, they haven't really shown that. Oh, you didn't trust? Are you saying you didn't trust the captain, or you didn't trust? I know you didn't trust Ash Tyler, but
no, I didn't trust the captain.
But you didn't trust Lorca either.
No,
yeah, Lorca was
not.
Always kind of like and I thought that was interesting as a captain, that he wasn't just like the captain that's like great at everything. He's like kind of shadowy, and that explains like why he killed his whole fleet that one time. Right?
Yeah,
like when Harry Mudd was saying to him, that he exploded his whole fleet and made it out, saved himself. But yeah, there was a pretty cool fight at the end there on the mid-season finale. Like Michael Berman gets to get into some fisticuffs with the. They like beam her onto the ship, and she gets to fight with the Klingons for a while.
Yeah, but
that's when they first started showing the visions in Tyler's head of the Klingon boobs and all that, also mixed with like torture and stuff like that. And
well, I remember that he was like not good at fighting because he was having PTSD.
Yeah, he had the PTSD, but that's when they first showed that, I believe. And,
sure.
And then they also showed like his body getting ripped apart, which we found out later is that which I feel like this is probably. I mean, I let it go because I like the show or whatever, but that's probably one of the hardest things to believe, that they took a Klingon and like reconstructed their body into a human.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't it be a little bit more believable if they like maybe, I don't know, somehow like brainwashed him or like put his mind into Ash Tyler's body instead of like.
Well, that's what I thought had
changing
happened.
like Vok into him.
Oh, that's what I thought had happened.
That his brain was in there?
Yeah.
No, they said
I thought they had like spliced enough of Vok into Tyler.
Oh no, it's Vok. Because they said that they shortened his spine and they broke his body down to make him into a human somehow. That's what they said, because they said it was scar tissue all around his organs and all that stuff. I know,
but I had just thought that they had put the Klingon bones and organs and stuff in with his, and also his brain.
Yeah, I don't know where Ash Tyler is, but I don't think they have him. I think they said that he was reconstructed as Ash Tyler.
I thought the Klingon lady said that Vok died to become...
Well, he did, kind of.
Well, okay.
I mean, he's not his Vokness anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, well, all right.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they show, all the stuff that he's remembering.
I know, I just thought
I guess
I just didn't think that's what happened. Even with all the imagery and stuff,
So he probably had sex with, I can't remember her name, the one that they have on the thing. He probably did that as Vok, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Before, yeah.
He's remembering it as himself.
But interestingly, the guy who played Ash Tyler, he also does play Vok, so he does wear
all the
Klingon makeup. So
yeah.
That might explain why the Klingons looked so different on the show. You know, why their makeup was so much, because they didn't want you to know that that's him.
Yeah,
because he was Vok from the beginning.
I mean, it still doesn't really make sense. I still thought that maybe...
But it was his face with just the thing on his forehead. You would know that it's him.
I know, but I thought that maybe... I thought that, they were going to go to the mirror universe and we were going to find out that they were the mirror universe to our universe.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting thing to
and
explain
that's why the Klingons look so weird. And they have the fucking spore drive, which we've never heard of. But I guess that's still not...
Explain the technology.
It's still not with... I mean, how many... aren't there infinite number of universes? They still could be in a...
Yeah.
Mirror universe to ours.
Sure. I mean, when they were making the show, though, I mean, the producers were saying, that this doesn't take place in the Kelvin timeline from the movie. That's what they're trying to say. Is that it's not the movie timeline, it's supposed to be the show timeline.
But that still doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, still, what they ended up doing, with the technology and all that, is kind of well, it's not...
We've never heard of a spore drive.
Yeah.
And I've watched every episode of Star Trek that there is.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, you watched all of the made it all the way through Voyager on our time off.
Yeah, my favorite. I really think it's my number one now.
Yeah.
Just P.S.
Yeah.
As a side note, Voyager.
I've heard people say that, and I think I agree with it. No, I totally agree with it. Is that Star Trek Discovery has the best first season of most of the shows. I'd say it's second to the original series. A first season.
Well, I think the first season of Voyager is pretty good.
I haven't seen Voyager, but I know the first season of... I really didn't like the first season of Next Generation.
Well, nobody did. It's rough.
I thought it was
and
bad.
I don't remember thinking the first season of Deep Space Nine was that good.
Yeah, no, I mean, all of them, I think all of them, aside from the original series, took a while to get going, to hit its stride.
I really think Voyager, it's only 4 episodes, and then it's solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
everybody has stupid hair, but I mean, they're still good episodes.
90s. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought they were in the mirror universe already.
Yeah, what I was just what was I going to say? No, what I was going to say is, I had a feeling that the Star Trek Discovery ship would probably get lost somewhere, and they may never be recorded in in the Federation history books or whatever, and maybe that's why we don't know about the spore drive and the tardigrade and all that. That's what I thought about earlier in the season, that maybe that's why we never heard about it, is that maybe they don't ever come back from the mirror universe, or maybe they end up in another universe and you just never see them in the
that's a really good explanation.
Regular timeline,
also,
and that's why
that would really piss me off.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I figured
that's a fucking cop-out.
Well, I figured it was like Rogue One, that it's like a prequel, and the reason you never heard anything about Michael Burnham is or Michael Burnham, sorry. Is that she died, same with why you didn't hear about Jyn Erso and Cassian and all them, is that they died. They died doing their thing, and I thought maybe that would be the fate of Discovery too, is that they were gonna die, and that's why you didn't hear Kirk talk about them, or Jonathan Archer or anybody like that in the other series.
Yeah,
that's what I figured, is they were gonna, and that might have been their original idea, since they were planning on doing a season from each of the timelines of Star Trek. Maybe they weren't going to make it in the beginning, but now it got renewed for a second season, so be really interested to see where they go after that. But no, I haven't watched this episode. It was 9, right? Yeah, I haven't watched episode 9 again. Like I only watched it one time. But for what I heard, Lorca actually hits something on the screen to like it's pretty obvious if you watch it that he was sending them to the mirror universe. Like
really?
when they take that dive, yeah.
Oh shit!
He says like we're home when he gets there. And then they're like, "Oh, it doesn't look like the thing." And
but
then he's
he's
like,
home.
"Oh," and he's like, "Oh, it's different," Then he reacts to it, but when he gets there, he does say, "We're home."
And he's right.
And he also does push something on the screen, but apparently that he was the one that messed with it. But the way they made it look is like that since they'd done all the jumps with the Klingon fight and all that with Stamets, it was kind of like it looked like Stamets was about to die, and he was like, "Can you do one last jump?" And that was when I was like, "Okay, they're not going to make it. They're going to end up." And I was hoping that they'd end up in another dimension or something like that.
Yeah.
And then they ended up in the mirror universe, which is pretty rad.
It was pretty rad.
I wanted to watch.
Costumes are very cool in the mirror universe.
Yeah, they have that leathery, metal-looking gold something.
Yeah, I think they're supposed to look like metal, but they are leather.
Yeah,
they're like embossed leather of different like textures and paint.
Yeah,
but they are amazing.
Yeah, I wanted to watch the original series mirror episode, but I haven't watched it yet. I mean, I've watched it before, but watch it again.
You haven't rewatched it.
But they're looking for, what is it, the Defiant? Is the ship that goes to the mirror universe?
Yeah.
So they're trying to find the Defiant to go back into regular Star Trek universe. And that's where, that's about where we left off. But there's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in the mirror universe. They basically have to pretend to be their evil selves, which is always fun.
Yep.
Tilly's a captain now. I thought that was great. So she has to be like the opposite of her normal character.
She got a very severe haircut.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she
and
got like
straightening.
She got her hair straightened and all that. And
yep. Good wig, good looking wig.
She's cool though. I like her character. Like she's become. I always thought she was interesting, but they've done a lot of fun stuff with her.
Totally.
And one of the worst things of all time. I think that was right when they came back, but. Ash Tyler broke the neck of Stamets' boyfriend, the doctor.
I was so sad because I really liked them.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of like
I really liked him. He might have been, in fact, my favorite character.
Yeah, and it was kind of like it was kind of like almost it took so long to have a openly homosexual couple in a Star Trek show, and then he gets killed. Half of them get killed.
I really thought
Yeah.
they were going to find a way to go back in time and make him alive.
Well, you never know. There's still possibilities of however they get back or wherever they go. I wouldn't put it past them to go to end up in another dimension or something.
Yeah.
Like at the end of this. But they did some really cool stuff with because after they make the jump to the mirror universe, we were talking about Stamets is pretty much in a space coma now, and he's kind of out of it, and that's where he starts saying random stuff about
the enemy is here.
Yeah, that's what he said before he was killed.
Yeah.
Right before Ash Tyler broke his neck, and he broke his neck right when he was telling him that he had been altered, and
and the forest. He keeps talking about a forest.
Yeah. Well, and he also goes into the network.
Yeah, and then there's one of his selves from a different...
No, he meets his mirror self.
Yeah.
Who's also in the network, which I forgot about that. That's the way that last episode 12 ended, was with him going into the network, and then the mirror version of Stamets coming out in his body.
Yeah, that's how the last episode we watched
so happens. He came out of the coma, but he's not Stamets. He's mirror Stamets. He has mirror Stamets in his head. So there's all sorts of crazy backstabbing whatever going on here with turncoat or whatever.
It's pretty intricate.
Yeah.
The plot.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, because like I said, we found out that Ash Tyler's Vogue, and there was a crazy part. They're in the mirror universe. They go onto one of the ships. Michael does. She takes Lorca with her because apparently Lorca was trying to kill her in the mirror universe, and they presume both of them dead.
Yep.
And she they pull the Star Wars thing, or put the high handcuffs on him and use that as your way to get on the ship. Same
right.
thing they did with Chewie and all that.
Yep.
And what was I getting at? Oh, they beam down to the planet to try to talk to the United basically the Federation of Planets, but it's different. This one has the Andorians. We finally see Andorians.
We did see some Andorians
with the antennas. Yep. And but yeah, it's like Andorians and Klingons, and I think there's some other species
There's
in there.
fucking
Vulcans
yeah.
as well, and Sarek's there.
Yep.
She does see him, but she goes down
and
there.
He mind melds with her.
Yeah,
and that's how he knows that she's
She goes down there
good
to
guy.
try to. Yeah, she goes down there to try to talk to Voq, the mirror Voq, or Vok. I think it's Vok. I don't know however you say it. VOQ. But she goes down there and he starts,
Vok.
and Vok starts talking. Vok starts talking in Klingon, and that triggers Ash Tyler to start like fighting him.
Yeah,
which was a crazy part.
He just remembers Klingon or whatever, and he starts speaking in Klingon.
Well,
And
said,
in their universe, they're like, nobody speaks Klingon anymore. How do you know our forgotten tongue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish that, and they didn't do it, but I really wish that Sarek would have mind melded Vok / Ash Tyler, so you could find out all that stuff. But probably one of the most like badass moves ever when Michael like beamed him into space. I mean, then like Saru like
because he was
beams him
sentenced
back
to
after
death.
that. But yeah,
she sentenced him to death, and she did beam him into space, but then they save him.
Yeah, but they have this really cool like fight, you know, between them where they're like he's like almost killing her, and like the slave Saru like saves her at the last minute.
Yep.
But I was listening to an interview with the guy who plays Ash Tyler, and he said that they went through that part many times. Like they would do like full 15-minute takes. Like he said, it was like theater. They would like do the fight part over and over again.
Yeah, many different.
Yeah, they do different ways.
The
they do like one where they cried, or like one where they didn't, like all this different stuff. And he said it was really intense. They like did a whole day of that, like for that scene, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
liked what they ended up with.
Yeah.
I liked what they picked.
Yeah, because they need to have the emotion of like I loved you, but you're you're backstabbing Klingon now, and
right,
and all that crazy stuff. But yeah, you're I mean, Jess is pretty good at predicting like stuff that happens in shows, and you were right from the beginning. You were like that Ash Tyler. He's up to no good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you saw that one from far away. But yeah, I thought that was one of the coolest moments where she was just like, because I was wondering what she was going to do, but also he did try to kill her. So I would thought that she was just going to be like, you know what, fuck you. I'm going to kill you right now. I'm going to send you into space. And
she did make it seem that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess she had communicated with Saru at some point that we don't see off camera to beam him back, and I don't know how far they are.
And he had
he
had a floppy disk in his pocket that was like the coordinates to where they were.
Oh, okay. So he knew where they were.
So so now like good Saru has that. So they're gonna come and save Michael.
Mm-hmm.
That was her like whole plan.
Oh, okay. So that's like what's going to happen next, because we found out that Giorgio, Captain Giorgio, who died in the very beginning of the show,
is Empress of the universe or something.
Is the Emperor now.
Right.
Yeah. So that was crazy. Like, she got unveiled in episode 11, I think. And then 12, it was like, she calls her like daughter, and she's like, I'm your mother, and Michael's all about like telling everybody like out front like what's going on. She's like, "Oh no, I've never seen you before. I'm from a different universe."
Yeah, Michael totally came out to her basically.
Yeah, she's been all about telling the truth to
but
everybody.
She
did the same thing
because she was like, "Oh, you're from the United Federation of Planets. I know you."
Oh yeah,
and that's how we learned. Yeah,
she had the communicator,
mm-hmm. And that's how we learned that Lorca was from the Mirror Universe, because she's like, we're the same, except we have an aversion to light. And
oh yeah, because his eyes were always messed up.
Yeah, and he was always putting the drops in, and
yeah, and they keep putting him in that torture machine,
which is great. You know what? Yeah, but that means that like they knew from the first episode, where they were going.
Yeah,
which is great.
Yeah.
Because they set that up from episode 1. It's the very first thing we see him do. Yeah, it's like when you get
introduced to him,
he's like, lower the lights. He tells the computer to lower lights, and he's like putting the drops in.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
It's not like they had the pilot, and then they came up with a storyline. They always had the storyline. Mm-hmm. He was always from the Mirror Universe.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. They have a good through line. Well, stuff like this you can write the whole thing and know where you're going.
Well, yeah, I just didn't think that was actually how things happened most of the time.
Well, I mean, if you have an idea, or it all depends on how much planning you do in the future.
Well, also
or whether
if they're like commissioning you to write a season of Star Trek, as opposed to like, here's my pilot. Yeah. I only have enough money to make the pilot. I haven't really even thought about the rest of the story. It's just a different kind of thing, I guess.
Well, I think if you're writing if you're a good writer, I think you should think like more than what the story is. You need to know like the backstory and where the characters are going.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I just think thinking 12 episodes in is really far.
Yeah. No, I'm glad that they did. It's really, they had a lot of stuff going on from the beginning. It's going to be a lot like, we're going to change this later, and you're not going to know it. It's like we have all these surprises.
Yeah.
That was another interesting thing I heard with the interview with the guy who played Ash Tyler. Is like, he said that like all of his like doing any sort of promo stuff for the show was kind of boring for him because he couldn't really say anything.
Right.
Because he signed like an NDA or whatever that was like.
You can't tell people that you're Vox.
You basically can't say that you're Vox. So like, what kind of stories can you give to the? You can't tell them like how weird it is to wear Klingon makeup or anything like that.
Yeah. You just have to be like, well, I play Ash Tyler.
And you're like, what's he all about? It's like, well, I don't know. Or like, I mean, you have to kind of go around.
He's a man.
He's a guy.
And he's a risk taker.
Yeah.
And he has huts for Burnham.
Yeah, he's a love interest of the show. I mean, it's kind of hard to say anything intriguing about it because you can't really say what the thing is. But I was looking at I was running through the episodes on IMDb earlier, just looking at synopsis to remember like what happened when. And now, like as of like episode 12, like they credit him as Ash Tyler / Vox, or Vox. So now it's on there.
It's out.
And it's got to be fun for him to do the Klingon stuff and try to sound like tough, being like Vok, Mok, Doc, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's not wearing the makeup. He's just a regular guy saying Klingon stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but people speak Klingon.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a real language. You can watch it.
Elvish people speak Klingon.
And Netflix, you can watch it as a subtitle in Europe, not here.
There was a whole Christmas Carol, Klingon Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I heard about that. I worked with an actor that was in one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sounds cool.
Yeah. I hope it involves a lot of fighting and
Batliths galore.
Yeah, I was going to say Batlith. That's what it's called, right? The big like U-looking fighty thing that the Worf has. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Press release.
Yeah. No, we were talking about when we were talking about Emperor Giorgio, how she did. I wanted to talk about how she basically did a Yondu move from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where she took that communicator that Michael had, and she basically like had it go in a circle, and it like went through the heads of all of her.
She did.
All of her people. Like that was a like the whistling stabby thing from Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
It sure was.
It's the same thing.
It was like a throwing star.
Yeah, where she's like, I'm badass, I'm going to kill everybody right now, so only we can talk about the Federation. And after that part, I pretty much felt like she's pretty much saying like, oh, there's another dimension for me to conquer. Seeing what was going on in her head,
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
That's what I was thinking, that she's like, oh, there's another dimension.
I mean,
want to go there.
Obviously she already knows that they exist.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I thought I saw going through her head, like when she heard that, was that she was going to go kill everybody in the other dimension. But we haven't talked about what's going to happen now. Like after the... So like at the end of the last episode that we saw, we find out that Lorca is from the Mirror Universe. He steps on that dude that keeps saying like, you tortured my sister. Like, what is the name of my sister? And he like won't say it. Oh yeah,
totally. And then he's like, her name was Cassie. Whatever.
Yeah, or whatever it was. And that was like the end of it. And I was like, oh shit. So we have 3 more episodes left in this season. It's almost done. Our next episode that we do on Star Trek will be pretty much, last 3 episodes, season as a whole, whatever.
Yeah.
Reflection. But what do you? I mean, obviously they have to find the Defiant to find a way back into the regular universe, but I'm sure they won't do this, but if they do get back, are they going to go try to find the Defiant in the regular universe and try to keep them from going to the Mirror Universe and all that? Find the other version of the ship that's in the Mirror Universe?
Well, no, they can't, because I think even other Star Trek...
Or will they have to, switch?
I think at some point, Voyager finds the Defiant's remains or something.
I thought... Well, or, in Enterprise they do.
In Enterprise,
they go to the
there
Mirror
it is.
Universe,
Yeah.
I know that. They beam there right after Kirk leaves or something like that.
Yeah. So no, I don't think they're gonna do that. But I think they could not go back to their universe. I think you're right.
Yeah, we talked about that they might go to another universe.
I think they might go to another universe and never make it back.
Well, Vok was stuck in the cell with the female Klingon that I couldn't remember the name of. which is I'm sorry to all our Klingon listeners. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I couldn't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either.
But yeah, they stuck him in there because Saru doesn't seem to know what's going on with his. That's why you might have thought that like their brains were swapped, because he doesn't really know. Saru doesn't really know what's going on with that, and he's basically like, he's in pain. You can either come forward with what you did to him, or you can watch him die. And he basically beams him into the cell with Lady Klingon.
Well, he's like, we can't help him. We can't do anything for him.
Yeah, he's saying you have to
unless
help him.
you tell us how. And she's like, no. And so,
yeah. So he pretty much dies there. So, well, I mean, he probably won't die there, but that's the idea. It's like he's going to suffer in front of you, and you need to tell us what's up. And they're like, Klingon forever,
Yeah.
Fuck everyone else, alt-right stuff. Which I think was pretty much a reference on that.
Totally.
But yeah, and Michael's still with the Emperor, right? With Empress Giorgio.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, need to find a way to get her out of there. And but
Saru's got her coordinates now.
Yeah, but Lorca's in the same ship with her.
Yep.
And he basically went to great lengths to get back to the mirror universe. To kill Michael, or to kill one of the Michael, like you were saying, like this is all planned from the beginning. That explains like why he wants to keep her on the ship. Like, I mean, did he think that there was going to be a way that they would find a way into the mirror universe? I guess eventually with having her.
Obviously,
I don't know.
It was his plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Yeah. Hopefully, they explain how he got there. How Lorca
right.
got there. Maybe he went
well,
with
and
the
how long
Defiant
he's been there, and where is the real Lorca?
Yeah, where's the other Lorca? And they did the doctor that was killed. We did get to see him in the network for a minute, so you might see more of him.
Yeah,
and like you said, the possibility of going back in time somehow, or maybe his mirror universe version isn't all that bad, and they can take him. I don't know.
Right.
But I mean, he was, he's still
or
got a lot
maybe his mirror universe version isn't, wherever they end up.
Yeah. Is okay, because it would make me sad to kill off that, because it was a huge thing for the show, to finally have an openly gay couple, and to just kind of like kill them off is like sucks, it's kind of like
it feels like couldn't you have killed anyone else?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, I guess since you liked him so much as a character, it had like more of an impact, right? Like his neck getting broken.
Yeah, but.
Yeah.
Rrr.
Yeah. Well, probably in the next episode, Lorca's going to go after Georgia and Michael, because they're in the same ship.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep. But so is Saru.
And Saru's going to be there too. So that'll be probably what we'll see. Like, hopefully we'll have some more, some sort of Michael Lorca fight or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what they do.
I just don't know I guess I don't really know what he wanted. Why he needed her to go to the mirror universe.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe it was part of like him trying to kill her before, or like maybe he did kill her. He needed to kill her again. I don't know. Or was he trying to kill Giorgio?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he was trying to kill Giorgio.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I'll be interested for them to tell us like what was his grand plan.
Yeah,
what did he hope to accomplish in the non-mirror universe? Why did he go there in the first place? Yeah. And then why did he feel so...
He might have just accidentally...
The need to bring Burnham back with him.
I was under the impression that he, like, accidentally got to the mirror universe. That it wasn't, like, a plan. That he ended up in this other universe and he realized where he was. And then he started, like, trying to figure out a way to get back. Or maybe he flipped with the other Lorca. And the other Lorca was lost.
Switcheroo.
Yeah, maybe he was lost in the mirror universe somewhere.
Yeah, and he's the one who died.
Yeah.
Maybe
we've totally forgot it, but one of my favorite, like a nice little detail there was that Sarek had the beard, had the evil Vulcan mirror universe beard. So
yeah, gotta have a beard.
Got a nice callback to the Spock beard and all that.
Very funny.
Yeah, for the part while they were down there, which they ended up getting nuked regardless, because the Empress just came by and just dropped bombs on that planet.
Yeah, so she don't give a fuck.
Because they didn't make it. They didn't make it out. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously Stamets has to get back into his body somehow from the network. I got to get him out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he woke up, didn't he?
Oh, no, he woke up in the other ship, didn't he?
Yeah, he woke up in the other ship. But they got to get him back. I mean, he's got to
he doesn't know. He's, like, on
back.
wherever, yeah. Oh, do you think he's on the ship that Lorca and Michael are? Like, what ship do you think he opened up? He woke up on?
I don't know, but you know what else I wonder? Oh no, I guess they're both in the network, so they both have the like. I just wondered if maybe his new body might be more intact.
Oh yeah, to help them like jump and all that in the ship. Mm-hmm. Oh, if he's in the mirror body and not his other body.
If the mirror body is more intact than his body.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I didn't think about that, but that might help him. But it would be more convenient for them as the storytelling is if Stamets is in the if he ends up in the ship that they're all at that
totally.
Georgia and Lorca are and Michael, so he can just already be there. But it was kind of like he gets up and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm up," and he like forgets to look at the ship, and there's just like kind of they do like a cut to the wall that says like not the Enterprise or something like that.
Right.
You know, there was like a sign, I forget what it said, but it said whatever that ship was. It pretty much says
the FCC
not
instead of the whatever.
Not the NC-01 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the ISS, I think it became. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah. So that's basically what we have left on the show there. Those 3 episodes. But I'm excited to see it.
I've really been enjoying this season.
Yeah, I mean, have you come around to it? I know the show was pretty bad at the beginning, but I think it's gotten better. I feel like every episode's gotten better, like each time. You know,
I like the story we're starting to tell.
Yeah,
I love the intricate plot. Mm-hmm. I still want to know why everything looks different.
Yeah,
I still want to know why the Klingons look different. I still want to know why they have the spore drive. I still want to know why everything's really shiny. Mm-hmm. I still want them to be from somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, one thing we completely forgot to mention is that first episode on the back from the break was directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, it totally was. Number 1 was there.
Yep.
To do it. So we completely forgot. I listened to an interview with him too. He's funny. Like in a good way.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that reminded me of that, of just how everything's shiny looking, because he mentioned that he liked how cinematic it looked, which that kind of like is something you hear a lot of times about, a cinematic show, like it looks like a movie, they say that a lot about different shows, but it's true, they're doing, and apparently the producers were very much like, do whatever you want to do, like more, instead of like being like, we have a set way to do this.
Right.
Shoot it how you want to shoot it.
Episode, yeah.
Well, he said he gave him a lot of leeway for it, and I thought it was funny that he said he had just got done being on the Orville. He had just directed an episode of that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny. He's doing both.
Doing them, why not?
Yeah, which I haven't seen any of that. I'm not really a huge fan of Seth MacFarlane, but
no, people do like it though.
But people, well, I mean, I think you would you probably end up liking some of it because it is. Apparently, it's supposed to look exactly like the Next Generation. Like, that's what they're trying to do. Like, they're trying to, like, mimic the shots, like the camera shots, like the lighting setups, like the production, like all that. They're trying to make it look like
more episode-y, too.
Yeah. It's trying to be like Next Generation, very much so. And, yeah, you're right. No, it's probably less, like... There's probably a little bit of a serial aspect to it, but it's no way as much as, like, Discovery has been.
Yeah.
Where Discovery is like one big story. Aside from like the time trap one that we were talking about, that was definitely like a...
It has been one arc.
But
even within that story, like
there's still stuff moving forward, yeah.
Yeah. It built the relationship between Vok, which we now know him as.
Seth MacFarlane should
Michael.
come back and do another extra. Because you see him a couple times on Enterprise. He was an extra on that show.
Yeah.
Like before he was doing anything. I mean, it'd be funny if he did both, but he probably won't. There's probably no chance that we'll see any of the other... I was like, can they fit LeVar Burton in there for a directing time? Because he directed too, right, on the original show?
He did, and I don't see why not.
Yeah, I know he's got all his Reading Rainbow and his reading podcast and all that stuff to deal with, right?
Well, I think, yeah, but I mean... They could. I would like it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't tried to.
Don't take my word for it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't tried to fit in any of the original actors from Star Trek in there.
Well, I mean, give them time.
I guess this isn't directly Discovery related, but we could talk about the whole Tarantino thing for a second about him. The whole thing about him wanting to direct a Star Trek movie.
It's not real though.
Apparently it is. It's a real thing. He said a thing. He's like
but
I want
He's not actually doing it.
No, I mean, he said he set boundaries. He said, I'll do it if it's rated R, and if we have, was it like $100 budget, $100 million budget, I think is what he said. Yeah, I'll do it for $100. But yeah, he like set a budget, and he said I want it to be a certain way like this, and do it.
Well, I'll direct a Star Trek movie.
I mean, Jonathan Frakes like himself said...
I mean, like anybody could say that. That doesn't mean anything.
I know, but I'm saying Jonathan Frakes himself said that he wanted to be on it and all that. He's like, I want to be on that. And JJ apparently is all into it too. Old Jar Jar Abrams is all about it. I don't think it's a great idea because I think that his... I mean, as far as the movies, maybe, I guess. I don't know. They're already kind of out there anyway, but... It's just a weird thing, and I thought we should mention it.
If you want to make a movie in space, Tarantino, just make a movie in space.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a Star Trek. I don't need it.
Unless he has some sort of interesting
I just don't
Star
think
Trek
his
ideas
storytelling is cohesive with Star Trek.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he'll just he'll just find another like old science fiction thing to steal, to be inspired by, or I was being nicer, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, most of his stuff is a culmination of other great things, which is. He has a great taste in movies. I'll say that. But,
yeah, he sure does.
But
and I like a lot of his movies a lot. I just don't want to fucking see a Star Trek. I just don't. His
movies are fine. Like the thing that bothers me about him is I just feel like he gets more credit than he actually deserves, because a lot of his stuff is actually remakes of older stuff, and people don't know that.
Well, right.
And that's not necessarily his fault, I guess. He just doesn't really advertise it.
Well, why would you?
Like most people don't know that Kill Bill is a remake of a Japanese movie because it never said that, really.
Well, no. Why would you?
But, whatever. This isn't the Tarantino podcast. This is the Star Trek podcast. But is there anything else you want to say about Discovery? I think we can probably put a pin in it here. Aside from, I mean, just like more to expect. I mean, I can't really think of anything else aside from they obviously have to get back to the next, I was going to say to the next generation, but I mean to the to the dimension, the last dimension, their dimension. They're going to get back to regular Star Trek timeline there.
Any dimension.
They got to save Kirk. Oh, we did forget one of my favorite parts from I don't remember which episode it was, but when Lorca did a hilarious impression of Scotty.
Oh, yeah, he did. That was really funny.
Where he turned into Scotty for no reason. That was pretty funny. I think that was the Frakes one, probably.
Yeah.
Was that first one.
It probably was. That was great.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see where they go. We saw there was a whole race of Sarus being imprisoned, so hopefully they can release them or something.
Totally.
And it was weird that Michael didn't tell Saru about how that his race was imprisoned and all that. She didn't mention...
Well, she didn't really have a lot of time. They haven't had a fucking debriefing.
Well, he talked to her and he said, have you seen anybody like me? And she said no.
Yeah, what's she going to say?
Even though she had a servant like that.
Yeah, I mean... I
guess she didn't want to depress him or something like that.
She didn't really have time to explain it.
Mm-hmm. All right, well...
Plus, maybe she thought it wouldn't help him to focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, just hopefully she tells him eventually, and maybe they can stick in a little side plot of them trying to save them, which they probably won't. They'll probably just get out of the mirror universe, but... Anyway, that's been our third Star Trek episode, Star Trek Discovery episode. We only got one more for the last 3 episodes, so stay tuned for that. We'll have that. I don't know if that'll be our next episode. We might have a different one before that. Who knows?
Who knows?
But, we're your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jess.
And, you can download us on iTunes, and you can rate our show and all that, and let us know how you feel. You can email us at thehoneydarlingshow@gmail.com. Let us know what you think about the show. We'd love to hear from you. Or if, have an idea for an episode or something we haven't covered yet. I know there's a big chunk of genre movies that we completely missed just because we were too busy, because we never saw Justice League or Hulk or anything like that. Or Thor. Hulk's in it, but
sure.
And the Oscars around the corner too. There's all the awards the nominations got announced. So we're hoping for Get Out to be in there. We covered that one. So,
loved it. Yeah, we'll definitely try to see all the best pictures, and
if we end, I'd really like to see Shape of Water,
best animated.
Know. So
totally.
Except for maybe Boss Baby, I don't think we need to see that one. That one's on there. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Adios.
Beyond the rim of the starlight, my love is wandering in starflight. I know he'll find in star-clustered reaches love strange love a star woman teaches. And I know his journey ends never. His Star Trek must go on forever. But tell him as he wanders the starry sea, remember me.
Yeah. Yes, that is how you end a fucking podcast.
Sounds like a giant snake is trying to lick your ear.
It's just it's just rubbing on the thing.
You need your mush.
Yeah, I need the moosh.